guitar for this tour. Specifically, this is an LTD Viper 1000. Kind of an older model. Usually, I think they stopped selling it a few years ago, but yeah, I picked this up recently and just wanted to play it on this tour. It's my first Viper, which is obviously like an offset kind of SG sort of thing, like super rad guitar. It's awesome, I think. This particular guitar is kind of interesting because it is a 24 fret and also a 24/75 scale. These two, however, are 25/5 scales and also 22 frets. This is the only guitar I have that has 24 frets, so kind of a little weird to get used to, but still pretty nice. Like, it's actually a little bit easier up top sometimes, but. Other than that, this particular guitar is a custom 5 Seymour Duncan. I play Duncans exclusively. That is a custom 5. This one has a custom. This one has a JB, all in the bridge. All of the pickups are 59s. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, as far as like settings and that, just bridge, tones usually all the way up, depending on how I'm feeling that day. I don't know. You know, volume of course cranked. I use Dunlop Heavy Core 54s. Kind of like, I don't know, I like a thicker gauge, and I use it for all the guitars. Doesn't really matter what the scale length is. Doesn't really affect whether I use those or not, unless it's a lower tuning. These guitars are all in drop C sharp, so I use 54s for that. If we're in something like B, I'll usually use sort of like a hybrid where the lowest is a 60 instead of a 54, just because, like I said, I play it pretty hard and just very untrained, so. I've been playing ESPs for about 8 years. I've been with them for about 6, so they're super awesome dudes. Like, I always love playing this stuff. Like, obviously I like all guitars. I'm just a guitar nerd, but as far as like, you know, playability, like the neck shape and stuff, it's just a perfect guitar. This is a ESP Phoenix 2, standard series ESP, also not made anymore unfortunately, but super sick guitars. Obviously I have 2 of them, we'll get to the other one, but yeah, this is kind of like more like a Firebird type sort of take on something. A little different, not as thin, doesn't have like, as you see, a Firebird only has this on the front and back with the neck through. This one just goes all the way to the back. A little bit thicker body. I like bigger bodies, so this is like kind of perfect for me. And then also got like the unpainted maple neck, which is like super smooth and just glides across. Super awesome. Once again, custom in this particular guitar. We have another Phoenix 2. Same deal, ESP standard. This one's a little bit newer. They actually stopped making these, I believe, in 2013. That one was made in 2011, but they stopped making them in 2013. I actually got lucky with this last year. It's kind of brand new. They don't even do the standard series anymore, but I think somebody more famous than me wanted it and decided they didn't, so they gave it to me. But yeah, this one has just a JB in the neck, or in the bridge, and a big guy in the neck. Kind of standard fare for me usually, you know, like I like to switch bridge pickups, but as far as neck, usually always with the guy. Chain, obviously, chromatic tuner. Let's go straight into the drop pedal. This pedal, if you happen to not be familiar, it'll change your tuning for you. It really cuts down on like having to swap guitars and just do tunings mid-set and things like that. Like, we only use 2 tunings on this tour, drop C sharp and A. So this one goes to A. It goes to A, like, there's a slight latency in how it works, but it's not something that can be heard. It's more of like a feel thing, and like you kind of get used to it, and it just the amount of convenience that it adds to the set is really great. This here is a Octave pedal that I use. It is made by Mac. It's actually just a guy in Crimea, Russia now apparently, but Crimea, Russia. Yeah, he makes pedals, and he gave me a few, and I really like the sound of this one as an octave up. It's got a really cool sound for the octave up. So it also has like a shimmer setting. I don't use that on this particular tour, but it has that. This is also an octave pedal. I use this one for the lows. This is a T-Rex Octavius. This is the octave pedal for anybody wondering. If you've ever heard our records and wonder when our guitars all sound like bass guitars, that's the thing that does it. In this particular set, I actually use it for the low, and then in one particular song, I use this one for the highs because I prefer the high on this one versus this one for that particular song. And then right here, just a Boss DD20 Giga Delay. I have a bunch of delays, but I always seem to come back to this one just because it's the easiest one to use. I don't know, it's it's really convenient, and I also like that unlike sort of the more like analog delays, it doesn't have like a hard stop when you shut it off. It still trails, which really lends itself to our set a lot. So use that most of the time. This is a T-Rex Creamer. It's just a reverb pedal. Pretty small. I like that it's a small footprint, so it actually has a lot of options for how small it is. It sounds, it's not like the greatest sounding reverb you'll ever hear, but it's like, it sounds really phenomenal for being like such a small footprint. And then, of course, moving on, just the Boss noise suppressor NS2. Another one that I've always come back to because it's just like, I've used other noise suppressors, but this one just seems to be, I don't know, maybe I've just lived the best, so always end up being. Yeah, I don't really have too many pedals on my board that I'm not using for any particular set, so that's what I've got going on for this particular. If there was one pedal that would define my sound in Norma Jean, I think it would just define the Norma Jean sound in general. It's definitely the Octavius. Like, kind of feel bad even saying that. Like, don't do that. Don't buy this. Don't buy it. Just kidding, do buy it. Yeah, no, it's just like, it's just an awesome pedal. It's just a great pedal. We use it a ton. And I mean, delay and reverb or whatever, that all kind of changes, like, obviously we like all that stuff, and I think that probably changed from like, you can change brands and change pedals or whatever, but as far as like the one pedal, the certain specific pedal, this is like one I can never get rid of. I don't think we as a band would ever get rid of, so. Here are the guitar heads that we play. We play EVH 5153s. We just go in direct. There's no like obviously soft pedal board, no overdrives, no any sort of fancy stuff, just straight in. That's kind of what we like. See, I've been playing the EVH for, I guess, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Beforehand, I always was a fan of the 5150s and stuff like that, so I've had quite a few of those. Never really been a fan of, like Mesas or Marshalls, or, at least for this particular sound. Those obviously have their place, but for us, I feel like these just have like a certain gain characteristic that's really cool and just kind of works for us. So, other than that, yeah, like pretty standard stuff. Not really any exciting head-wise gear. We just plug in and turn up and make feedback and all that, make noise.
Hey, my name's Philly. I play guitar in a band called Norma Jean, and we're gonna check out some of my gear today. My number one is my new guy. Is this fella. It's got a little boo-boo on it already. I got this on the first leg of this tour in Texas. It's the LTD SN1000W. It's got a Wilkinson trim. Got a Seymour Duncan. We all use Seymour Duncan stuff. They just make the best pickups. It's got a custom 5 and then 2 hot singles that are noise canceling. They're like reverse wound. Noise canceling, volume, tone. Depending on the room, like sometimes I'll dial this back if it's a little too like trebly or bright. Most of the time it's just they're both full on. We use Dunlop 12 to 54. Heavy core. They just make great strings. A lot of strings, like, they just tend to never end up stretching out all the way. These, it's just like you stretch them, tune them up, and then they're good. So we change strings about every 2 shows because we are the sweatiest band on earth probably. But yeah, that's about it. Locking tuners. Maple neck, maple fretboard. I got this guitar just because I'm obsessed with Jimi Hendrix, and Jimi Hendrix is the best guitar player of all time, and all other guitar players aren't as good, so white Strat it is. And then number 2 is this guy, which they actually don't kind of make anymore. It's an X-Tone. It's made by ESP as well. But it's sort of like if you've seen the Ben Wyman from Dillinger signature, it's kind of the guitar that was based off of. It's got a JB 59, sort of set up like a Les Paul, so independent volume and tone, toggle switch, semi-hollow body, which people are always kind of tend to be a little surprised by because it doesn't technically like lend itself to what we do, but it actually, tonally speaking, I think really does. It kind of like widens it out, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I mean, in Norma Jean, like, we kind of are trying to just ride the border between chaos and whatever's just a little bit left of that. So yeah, it just kind of works. I can control the feedback really easily with this, which is cool. Spurzels, or Spurzels, or however you say it. And plus, it's just cool looking. It's gold. It's been beat up. We're not exactly easy on our guitars in the Norma Jean camp. You kind of have to earn your spot in the boat. So this one's been around for a long time. So first of all, Blackbird boards make just great pedal boards. I can't say enough nice things about those dudes. At the beginning of my chain, I guess it goes right into this tuner. TU3, I kind of don't like it as much as the TU2. This one's technically a little more like on, but it's also a little more like the TU2 just goes, and you're there. Okay, with the TU3, you gotta fool with it a little more. But, you know, industry standard, I guess. Then it goes to this Seymour Duncan Overdrive. This is sort of, I guess, based off of like a Tube Screamer circuit, but it's cool because it has its own independent sort of like 3-band EQ there. I just push the level with the gain all the way down, and I can kind of explain why here in a second. But from there, it goes to my Abominable Electronics Hell Satan Russian Muff fuzz pedal. This thing is my favorite pedal. It's probably my favorite fuzz pedal I've ever used, and the dude at Abominable is so cool to me. So it has like a, you hit this one, it's just your normal fuzz. You hit that one, it engages the LEDs in the circuit, and then those LEDs are actually like his eyes. So when you hit the strings, his eyes light up. So that's kind of cool. Just a really gnarly fuzz pedal. This is the Digitech drop pedal. This thing has kind of been a game changer for us. We don't have to bring, like in this set, I think we've got 3, sometimes 4 different tunings. And this thing, without this pedal, we would have to have so many more guitars. This thing is just awesome. But there is like sort of, not real, it's one of those things you kind of feel more than you hear, as nerdy as that is to sound, but as it sounds, but it's kind of got a little bit of latency to it. Doesn't track, like, it tracks really well in a live setting. You're never going to be able to tell, but I would never try to record with it. But in order to kind of like boost that signal, sometimes I'll run this Overdrive with the level cranked and the gain all the way down, just to kind of thicken that up, because when we're going from C sharp down to A, it does kind of lose a little bit of oomph. So a lot of times I'll subsidize it with that. From there, it goes to the sort of Norma Jean secret weapon pedal. This is the best octave pedal that's ever been invented. It's a T-Rex Octavius. When I first joined this band, I was actually using this drop pedal as my low octave pedal, and they were like, no, we got to get we're getting one of these. And so I am completely sold. It's like a Pog on steroids. It has this boost, which is cool, because a lot of times there'll be like a volume drop, but you hit that boost, it brings it back up, and the boost itself sounds really good independently. So yeah, this is the one here for sure. Then it goes noise suppressor, NS2. It just kind of works the best from sorry, I got my hair on. It just kind of works the best from all the ones I've ever tried. It just sort of like, I don't know, it's cheap, it sounds good, it works really well. You just can't really beat that pedal. Then from there, it goes to this shapeshifter, Seymour Duncan. It's a stereo tremolo. I only run it in mono, but it's pretty cool. You can't really see it, but like the tempo or whatever is lit up, and this knob will blink with the tempo, which is pretty cool. It does all kinds of cool stuff. I kind of just use it for like the end of the world sound. at the end where I'll just click this one, this one, this one, this one, this, all these on, and it just sounds like your speakers are gonna fall apart. That's the sound I'm going for, I guess. And from there, it goes, let's see, to this guy, supercomputer of a delay pedal. It does way more than I understand. And in the studio, it's awesome. I would usually prefer to, it's got such a big footprint, I would like it to be just sort of normal size, mostly because I could just fit more pedals on here. But it sounds really, really good. It has a tap tempo, it has a looper. We could do a whole episode on just what this pedal does that I don't understand. From here it goes to this pedal. This is actually a TC Electronics. I guess they did like a Guitar Center exclusive version of the Hall of Fame. And I just happened to pick one up in a trade, and it had these stickers on there. I don't really know what those stickers are, but I just never bothered to take them off. It's just a Hall of Fame reverb essentially with a few extra little things. The cool thing about these pedals is it has the tone print technology where you can go in and create your own pedal essentially. So I just went in and made this thing that sounds like a helicopter. You can't find a pedal that makes that noise, but you can make this one make it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. I like to run these two after the noise suppressor, so it doesn't choke off like my delay trails and my reverb. So like it's the signal from the suppressor is what's getting the delay signal. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as pedals. Amps, we use the EVH 5153. I have a lot of amps, but this thing is just a monster, man. It's huge, first of all. It's really heavy, but it just sounds so good. It's like very saturated, but like clear. You know, it's like transparent at the same time. And the best thing about these amps is actually the clean channel, which is surprising because usually on high gain amps, I find that that's the thing that suffers the most. But this, like being made by Fender, it's essentially got a Fender clean channel built into a super high gain amp. So, but the clean channel is not just like good for a high gain amp, it's like legit, really good clean channel. There's sort of this trend that happened that was completely unintentional, but my amp's white, my pedal board's white, my main guitar is white. It didn't happen on purpose, it just sort of happened that way. But yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about EVH. Yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for checking out our gear. We got a new record came out in September called Polar Similar. Check that out if you haven't listened to it, and get any sort of info you need from normajeannoise.com.